Alright, we're going to jump right into this recipe and we're going to get started on our flour tortillas. The first thing you'll need is 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour or 198 grams, a half cup or 66 grams of masa preparada. Then you're going to toss in 2 tablespoons or 8 grams of salt. This is where you'll want to grab your paddle attachment and mix your dry ingredients. Now of course, if you don't have a mixer, a whisk will do fine here. Now once your dry ingredients are mixed, toss in about a half cup or 82 grams of cold lard. And then last but not least, 2 tablespoons or 24 grams of unsalted butter. Now you're going to let this mixture run until it turns into almost a cornmeal type mixture. When that happens, you're going to switch over to a dough hook. Now put your mixer on slow and then slowly add your final ingredient, which is 2/3 cup or 121 grams of water. You'll definitely want to make sure that this water is warm, and once you've added your water, you're going to slowly increase the speed of your mixer, scraping the sides as necessary. Now, if you don't have a mixer, you can absolutely do all this by hand. I'm just lazy, and I have a weird phobia about stuff being stuck to my hands. Now once your dough is no longer sticky, you're going to want to throw a little flour on your counter and form your dough into a small loaf. Wrap it tight with plastic wrap and let it rest for about an hour. Now while our flour dough is resting, let's get to work on these corn tortillas. First, we're going to start off with 2 cups or 193 grams of masa harina. This comes in white or yellow. They were out of the yellow, which I would have picked, but I don't think there's any difference in flavor, so I went ahead and used the white. Now you're going to throw in a half a teaspoon or 2 grams of salt, just a sprinkle to make you tingle, if you know what I'm saying. Whisk it in. Whisking's important for things like this because it ensures that your dry ingredients are fairly evenly spread out before you start dropping liquids and binding things together. Now we're going to break out our dough hook and we're going to set it to low while we add 1.5 cups or 338 grams of lukewarm water slowly to our mixer. Again, this can also be done by hand. After your water is added, slowly bump that speed up to medium-high, scraping the sides where needed. If at any point your dough is too crumbly, go ahead and toss a little more water in. If it's too wet, toss in some more masa. And once your dough is the right consistency, you're going to want to form it into a ball. Cover your bowl with plastic wrap and let it sit 30 minutes at room temperature. Now we're going to hop back over to our flour dough, divide it into as equal as possible parts, flatten it out using either a rolling pin or, as I did, a tortilla press. And then we're going to fry it 30 to 45 seconds per side on medium heat or just until it starts to bubble. And now with the corn tortillas, it's basically the exact same process. The only difference is I'm going to spread a little oil around the bottom of the pan to kind of freshen it up since we've already cooked a bunch of flour tortillas and I don't want the corn tortillas to stick. It's really that simple. It's insanely easy and your tortillas are going to be so much better. It's very little effort, it's a huge reward. The only suggestion I would offer is maybe don't start off using a cast iron on an induction burner. You might want to use a thinner pan or a griddle so it'll heat up a little quicker and cook a little faster for you. Now me, I'm going to slice up this tri-tip and throw a little chimichurri on top, but you can use yours for whatever. They're the perfect accent to almost any meal. Whether you want tacos or whatever, they're great.